Hey everybody, and welcome along to this week's edition of the Irish Golfer Podcast. Peter Finnan here, and joined by Ronan McNamara.
How are we?
Not too bad, not too bad. All good, all good. Happy, very happy. We had lots to get stuck into this week, but yeah, it's been a pretty eventful weekend. But I suppose before we get stuck into anything, good shout out to Flowgas, who are podcast sponsors here. Visit flowgas.ie for all your energy needs. We harp on about it every single week. They support us so well in this sport of golf that we all love. So support them back. They have plenty of plans available, given the cold snap and the brutal windy conditions we've had over the last couple of weeks. They have something there for everybody, be it gas or electricity. Visit flowgas.ie. Right, Ronan. Yeah, but on the energy, plenty of energy going around this weekend.
Yeah. I was up in Glendalough there yesterday, so I don't have too much energy today, but I exerted it all there yesterday. To my detriment, I might add as well. A couple of shoes fell foul to the terrain, shall we say? So, if anybody has any spare runners, I'd like to take some.
No, we've loads to get stuck into anyway. What a weekend of sport. Well, for me anyway, we get a Rory win, we get Leeds win, a HMS Pistol go back up 7-0. Kildare have won more games in the last 2 weeks than they have in the whole of 2024. And Meath are struggling, so I'm delighted.
Meath with a convincing 10-point win, like didn't even have to play some of the big boys. Like that's how good we are.
Even the women won yesterday. Seen Wall scoring a few goals. They're all good.
Yeah, she's back. A third All Ireland is on the cards.
Right, now let's rein it into Pebble Beach. The AT&T at Pebble Beach. Not so like this really for me summoned the start of the golf season. Like I was never a big fan of the way this tournament was before. They've changed it, obviously, they've really changed the whole outlook of the event. Before we get stuck into the actual day-to-day runs of it, like it just works a lot better now that it's not the same old wheeling out Bill Murray and all these guys every year to do the same thing, tell the same jokes on the same hole and do all that. That's really kind of 36 holes of the amateurs come in, and it's more your heads of business across the states and globally that the PGA Tour are trying to tout to play with players and attract sponsors rather than celebrities. So this worked really well. I was a big fan of not being shown much of them over the Thursday, Friday, and the tournament dynamics seemed to work really, really well. So I don't know what your thoughts were on the overall tournament before we get stuck into Rory and Shane and all the rest.
Yeah, like it feels there's definitely plenty of meat on the bone to talk about this week, which probably hasn't been the case for the PGA Tour season so far. I agree with what you said, like the product in terms of how they showed like the Pro-Am part, I think it worked really, really well. I actually think two courses suits it better than the three that it used to be as well. And like Rory McIlroy said it himself, I think in his pre-tournament stuff, like the venue actually, it just makes the tournament as well. And given the conditions that they had as well, I think it really added to the whole thing. And I think this is the first week where you can maybe go around your golf club or go up to town and chat to people who will have watched this, which you probably couldn't say up until now, to be honest, with the PGA Tour so far. So definitely feels like we're sort of back underway in terms of just having a good golf product to watch on a weekend, on a Sunday evening.
Yeah, no, I really like. I watched so much of this; it was so good, and was just. I know it's easy for us when you have the two boys up there ding donging it at the top of the leaderboard, but yeah, as an overall product, even the other sideline like Seb Straka up there, guys like that, guys like Tom Kim as well getting in the mix, and Cam Davis, stuff like that. It was just really exciting to watch. I loved every minute of this golf tournament. And it gave me a new love as well. Like I mentioned it last week or the week before on the pod about there's a lot of tournaments that I used to just watch for the golf course because what they serve up on the course sometimes isn't great. Whereas this was class to watch, and I watched it for both the golf course, but got an unbelievable tournament and field and finish to this. That it just it marks the start of the golf season, and long may it continue.
Yeah, it's just a shame we probably have to go into some run-of-the-mill PGA Tour event this year before we wait for the Genesis next week. So, but no, I agree. Even like outside of the final group, I thought there was just so much happening. Like it's funny how the rough doesn't have to be that long, but when the targets are small and there's a bit of wind, like you realize how much these guys are being tested. Even though
Yeah,
21 under one, like it felt like you had to work really, really hard for your birdies, which is that's what you want. Like there was just the right balance struck in terms of low scoring, but actual, punishment and getting penalised for hitting poor shots as well.
yeah. No, I totally agree. Right, let's get stuck in. The start of the Grand Slam year for Rory McIlroy. I'm on the train already. That's it.
Oh, I'm ready.
It
I'm
is
driving it.
it it's out there. You're driving it like it is out the gap. This is hype. Like this is serious stuff. I just I'm so impressed. Like it's ominous for fields when Rory McIlroy is in the humour of doing stuff that he did on Saturday. How he golfed his ball on Saturday and what he did and the shots that he hit. And when Rory is in that sort of humour, I just think he's unbeatable when he's in that sort of humour, when he's actually flighting his ball like that, when he has to think about different variables that sometimes he goes into autopilot and doesn't process, picks the wrong shots. It was just because they're the type of rounds I expect from an artist like Shane Lowry. I don't expect that sort of control, composure, decision making, shot making, shaping it both ways, flighting it. Like he hit one drive on Saturday that went like 48 feet in the air. That's the with driver, like hitting these little stingy drivers. This was peak Rory McIlroy, and I love the way when he was asked afterwards, how close are we to like the best you've ever been? He's not afraid to go there now. Like when he's talking to Nick Doherty on Sky after his rounds, he's he's the one that mentioned Augusta. He's the one that mentioned this is as close as I've been to. And I know it's all hype and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of variables and there's a lot of time between now and April. But he is not afraid to go there. He is so comfortable. And yeah, I just think this is ominous. I am really liking it. Like I'm just loving what I'm seeing from him. I don't know what your feelings are. I'm hoping you're the same.
Oh, this is going to be really disappointing when he says, no, I actually peaked too early. But no, I agree with you actually.
Oh
And
no!
I agree with you. I'm
You need
actually
to
on
get a
the hype
fire
train.
extinguisher and
I'm
cool
on
me
the hype
off.
train. No, not this time. Not this time. Because normally I just go on it blindly and I just go on the hype train ready to get heartbroken again because, like, what's another heartbreak? But I just saw things that reminded me a bit of Scotty Scheffler from McIlroy at the weekend, especially on Sunday. He just didn't let people in. Like you go back to Friday before the Eagle, he has those four bogeys in a row, and I kind of looked at it and I was thinking, like, you're just not going to win the big titles if you're doing that. But he absolutely redeemed himself over the weekend. Like one bogey in his last 36 holes, like in those type of conditions, is pretty clinical. Like he just closed the door on absolutely everybody. Like I don't think the chase and pack did anything wrong, yet he was still so comfortable. And I'd say if you're not of an Irish persuasion and maybe not of a McIlroy persuasion, you're getting pretty annoyed just how solid he was. And then of course, like he's able to produce iron shots that the two lads beside him are just not able to do, and Justin Rose isn't able to do, Cam Davis isn't able to do. Like the shot into 14, a couple of iron shots from the bunkers as well. He took on a par five. He took on the six out of the bunker, hit another great bunker shot as well from the fairway. So there was a lot of that stuff as well, and I just think if he plays like that, he'll win major championships. Like that was as close to his A game with a bit of a Scheffler sort of just coolness about it thrown in as well that I really liked.
Yeah, and that's exactly it's that calmness, coolness. And this is a golf course that he likes the history of, but he doesn't necessarily like, Rory's been out on tour like 15, 16 years. He has he's only played in Pebble Beach three times now. He's only been there twice before, like so. He missed a cut in 2018 playing alongside his dad during this, and last year was tied 66. Now he has a couple of other major starts, so he's played four times in total before this, two major starts, and like 2010 US Open he was cut, and in 2019 he finished tied ninth, really in a real characteristic Rory finish of coming with a good final round, but Pebble Beach is not a place that he's liked. Very like Wentworth and with Rory back when he was starting off, just didn't suit his eye. He's not a big fan of those small targets. those Poa greens as well. Quite slow, bumpy, but he just excelled. How he did what he did, it just puts him on a different mental level to know that he can do that to a big, because this is a proper field. This is like full signature event. Outside Xander Schauffele being injured, there's nobody else here that he will face into majors. Now we're going to see a different Scotty Scheffler the more reps he gets, and Scotty did get quite close. So, like, I was impressed with how close he got considering the lack of golf he got. But Rory just controlled the narrative here. He was like the puppeteer, and he really did control the narrative. And his stats were off the charts. He's making 1.6 in stroke gained off the tee. He's making like over a shot and a half, which is, it's scary when that is the difference, and it's scary what he does when he actually puts his mind to it. And like, he gets a lot of abuse over the years, him and Harry. But the way they communicated through this whole week, what they done, like we put up a story yesterday around their sort of Tuesday practice matches and what they do against each other. And Harry sets like a target for him to play, a score for him to hit on Tuesday. If he beats that score, he wins. If he doesn't, and they literally play till dark, just going out doing that. And all the dynamic of what Harry's bringing. And I just love that mentality of when he's coming down the stretch on, like, because Shane was dropping the hammer on him like 16, 15, 16, 17, 18. Shane really was keeping him honest. And for Rory then to stand out and just say to his man, start as you mean to go on, Harry. This is the start of our season. This is what we're going to do. And he took it on and he just executed it to absolute perfection.
Yeah, it just felt different. I know it's only February, or even in February we are, first week of February, but like it just felt different. It was just a completely different mental approach in terms of like his shot selection. I like Pebble Beach because you don't have to take a lot of drivers off the tee, but like his approach play into the greens, like he gained 2.3 shots on approach play alone on the field. And it just like even like some of his poor shots, they were still landing in the middle of the green. And then when he was in the mayor's office off the tee, there's your time to strike. Your time to strike isn't when you're, in the rough or when you're, have a poor angle to the pin. So I thought he was very, again, going back to like Scotty Scheffler, just very disciplined and not giving your opponents any chance to get in. Like, I'm going to make my par here. If you make a birdie, fair enough, but you're going to have to keep making birdies to beat me because I'm not going to make mistakes. Like, I know he'd won bogey on the 8th or 9th, maybe on Sunday, but apart from that, like he was pretty much flawless. I know the final group kind of got off to edgy starts
Yeah.
in the first 3 or 4 holes, and I kind of wondered like, where is this going to go? Could it be one of those where they're all too familiar with each other and too comfortable, maybe not focused enough? But I mean, like he just put the hammer down as well, like, and just kept the door shut on absolutely everybody, because like everybody had their little charge at some point. Rose had his charge, Tom Kim, Lowry, of course, Straka hung around as well, but they couldn't really get in touch with them at all.
Yeah. No, it was good to watch. But yeah, it's always that decisive moment, and always we go back over the last decade, and Rory has always had. He comes to a crossroads on a Sunday at different, and like it's been proved more times than not over the last decade in major championships and in big events. More times than not, he made the wrong choice, and he played the wrong shot, and it ended up someone broke through the tape and overtook him, like Bryson last year, or at the US Open, even the like of Rasmus at the Irish Open, or Billy Horschel at Wentworth and stuff like that. So there's a trend there, but when the flex on 14 was like all the golf that he played before that, yeah, like his short game, his scrambling, his approach play, his irons, he was on everything. But the flex on 14, to hit drive on that line and to do what he did, like 3 out of the 3 days he played Pebble Beach, he pretty much took the same line off. And he only had par the first 2 days from, 350, 60 yards off the tee. But hit drive 7 iron on the final round into that green and hold the putt for eagle. You just crush a field doing stuff like that. And he has the potential. There's very few, like Pebble Beach is not normally the type of golf course that is the separator, the off the tee, and that's normally Rory's playhouse. His playbook is I can blow fields away by taking different lines, by doing that. There's very few opportunities around Pebble to do that, and to overpower the golf course. He won this golf course with finesse, but that was a turning point.
Yeah, it was just a different approach from him. He was just a lot more disciplined off the tee as well. And it kind of just begs the difference, like begs the question, like, does he actually win on tough golf courses? Well, the answer would be yeah.
Mm.
Even though like we did see him at the Open just get blown out of it, and like conditions on the Saturday weren't too dissimilar to that. So again, I think it's just all about when he shows up on the day, is he mentally tuned in to, be able and ready for the grind? Because like you said there, he is able to play shots that not a lot of people are able to produce. And I actually do think when he plays like that, he's still the best in the world. And I know people say, "Oh, but Scheffler won 7 times and McIlroy's world number 3."
No, I agree with you.
Hasn't won a major for 10 years, and that's always the frustrating thing. But like when he does produce his absolute best, or even close to his best, I don't think anybody can get near him still. And like people might say now, because some of the live players are playing away, he's not fully tested. But I still think like if he shows up to maybe not Augusta, I'm still not sure on that one, but maybe one of the other 3 majors and plays like that, he has to win one of them. I don't see how he doesn't.
Yeah, well, Quail Hollow. Like, Quail Hollow has to be top of the list. He loves that golf course. I know they've made a lot of changes to it, but like, that might as well be his back garden, his favorite golf course. That's like you going to Park Talchin. Like, that is up there. It's heaven for him, sort of way. So, and Royal Portrush. So yeah, this it has to be the year. But no, I laughed at Sepp Straka. It was so funny just talking about 14 when he was asked about Rory's shot. He said, "Oh yeah, we both hit 7 in there," and the guys were like, "Oh really?" And he goes, "Yeah, he hit a 7 iron and I hit a 7 wood." It's
That's the
just
difference,
bonkers.
though. That is the
Hmm?
difference. Like that is the difference. Like he took advantage in the holes. He was able to let loose a driver on as well. In fairness to him, and it just like I don't think 2 shots was actually justified. Like in terms of how well he played, the winning margin. Like he could have easily won that by 4 or 5. Just Larry did put the heat
Yeah,
on.
but I just love the way he laid back on a few holes as well. When like even on watching on TV, like Radar was saying, "Oh, this is on today. It's 358 carry to the front of the green. I think the middle of the back nine." And he goes, "Oh, he's taking 3 wood," and he just laid it up to a nice number, pitched it on, holds a 10 foot putt. Like that
Yeah,
is not normally what you see from Rory McIlroy. He
his wedge
normally
game was excellent,
It was
absolutely
unbelievable.
excellent.
Yeah, no, so
Whatever he's doing, he sort of has that sawn off follow through going as well. And obviously the hole in one was sort of the big shot in terms of seeing that. But like he just looked so much more in control. Didn't have that full follow through that we often see him hit on wedge shots where he sort of loses control of the spin. Maybe that's down to the golf ball as well. But it just seemed like he figured out so much about where he's at in terms of his game heading into the rest of the season.
yeah, and even the fact that he's experimenting with God, like he's changed, and it's all public knowledge and out there, like tweaking, changing his golf ball to a more spinnier ball that he's in a little bit more control of. He can flight a bit better, so he's gone from TP5X to TP5, which is a ball he has used before, but it's just a different generation of it now. And he's seen the performance results. Yeah, he's changing around with golf ball. He hasn't changed his driver. He's still in the TaylorMade QI10 from last year, which is unusual for Rory not to be an early adopter. But like, why would you change when your stats are so good with the driver that you're playing for the whole of last year and you're so comfortable with it? It's yeah, I'm sure the guys at TaylorMade are not very happy, but it's something when you look at it. Like he's won in Dubai. He at the tail end of last season with it, he finished fourth in Dubai 3 weeks ago, and he comes out and wins his first PGA Tour start. So why would you go messing with anything in your bag?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And it's funny, like he's won at an iconic golf course, and you can tell that actually means a lot to him as well. Like the money,
Mm.
obviously, with these signature events, the 20 million purse, like Larry got over 2 million for finishing second is just mental. But you can tell with Rory, he really is about legacy in terms of the game. Like, where can I win at? What does it mean to win here? Like, what does it mean to match Sevi's record of Race to Dubai wins? What does it mean to win in Pebble Beach? Like, he's in the way the game of golf is at the moment, where it's all so fractured and all about money. Like McIlroy is kind of refreshing when it comes to like remembering where he is and what does it mean to actually do something here or there. I think it's actually quite refreshing to see that.
Yeah. No, on the prize fund, it's funny. We had 3 boys tee it up in the field. Like between Rory, Shane, and Seamus Power, they took home 6.1 million of the 20 million total. When you take it out, it's like 29% of the overall prize fund. The three boys, like, even Seamus Power, like, to go home with the guts of 300 grand in his back pocket and to show a bit of form at a Siggy event like that is really, really good for him.
Yeah, and he put in a really good final round as well, which I think is important. It's all right playing well for 3 days, but in terms, as far as Power is concerned, in terms of world ranking points and FedEx Cup rankings, Sundays now is going to be his bread and butter, where he makes his pay. He really strong finish, birdie in 16 and 17, so I was delighted for him, and he did look good. Like
Yeah.
top 20 finish is nothing to be sniffed at there. So yeah, a nice little bonus to see him play well, even though it really was all about Rory and Shane from an Irish point of view. But I
Yeah.
always was keeping an eye on James.
Shane, let's talk about Shane. Um, I was equally as impressed, if not more impressed, with how Lowry recovered this round because things did not go well for him at the middle part of that round. And sometimes Shane Lowry, he gets in on top of himself. He's his own worst enemy sometimes of temperament, of control, and this is where I think playing with Rory really helped him the other day to get back into the moment. To that for me, like I just think we're seeing a different Shane Lowry now, a more mature Lowry on the golf course. How he went about and attacked that back nine, like his back nine was equally as impressive, if not more impressive, than what Rory McIlroy served up. And to have the two boys playing with each other in the last group, doing it together, controlling the narrative of the whole competition. Yeah, I was so impressed with the birdies that he pumped in, the momentum that he got, and the pressure that he put onto Rory to keep it honest, to keep this tournament going as long as possible. You just cannot but fault Shane Lowry's effort over the last week and what he's achieved.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with what you said there about him getting on top of himself, which kind of makes what happened on the front nine not too surprising. But I think on another day it could have gone south, and maybe he finishes 13 or 14 under. But he regarded himself like back nine to 31, and it could have been more. In fairness, a couple of putts go in. I think there was one in the middle of the back nine, and then obviously the putt on 17. I mean, you know, it's still game on going up the 18th as well. So you're looking at the fine margins, but I think Shane Lowry got the absolute maximum out of his game on Sunday, considering he didn't drive the ball well at all. Like he was struggling with a bit of a push cut,
He was using
and
people to put it on the fairway.
honestly, like he really was struggling off the tee, which is something I wouldn't associate with him at all, given the conditions. I thought he just hit those squeezy little punchy drives up and just get the ball running. But equally as impressive as Rory in terms of staying in, and he did put the pressure on. In fairness to him, and he was quite, it's funny like what he said in his press conference. I just wasn't good enough to beat Rory McIlroy when he's playing the way he's playing. Like it's one of those, like Larry hasn't got enough wins in his professional career to justify how good he is, if you get me. But and it must be kind of half sickening to think like, well, I would have won that if Rory McIlroy wasn't playing. I know he got the one up on him in Wentworth a couple of years back, but I wanted Larry to win more than I wanted McIlroy to win, because I think Larry might win once this year, where I thought if McIlroy doesn't win here, he'll still win 3 or 4 during the course of the season. So I wanted Larry to get the big win, but unfortunately he came up just short. But still, like final round 68 in a signature event, like you can't really ask for more than that.
No, no, especially when he was won over through the turn, like and struggling, like really, really
Yeah,
visually struggling. He
the put
always does well. Like he excels on. He's not a big fan of Poa.
no
On
the put on the ninth was huge for him. That
yeah,
really
yeah.
kind of kept the show on the road.
Yeah, but he excels on slower greens. He's a target man. He knows how to golf his ball. Like he'll play every shot going. And that, like the game that Rory was forced to play with kind of handcuffs on the Saturday, in the weather, is right in Lowry's wheelhouse. Like if the PGA Tour was like that every week, Shane Lowry would be world number one. Like that's the separator. That's how good he is in those conditions. Not necessarily that he likes it. He knows how to do it, and he has the hands to do it, and he has the temperament mostly to do it on that. But yeah, it was just it was really, really nice to see the two guys up there, and for the two of them to have hole in ones as well. Like it's
Yeah,
been
it
done
was.
to death online as well about like, but where Shane Lowry has had his hole in ones is like it's
It's
off the
unbelievable.
charts.
It's unbelievable. Like talk about like iconic events, like bucket list stuff. Augusta, Sawgrass, and Pebble Beach, and then like the 17th at Sawgrass, and the 7th at Pebble Beach as well. Like, I mean, if you could write it up, that would be those would be the ones you'd want.
Yeah. Have you had a hole in one?
Oh, I have.
Where?
County 7th in County Meath.
Ah, stop.
See, 7 is just an iconic number, Pete. 7 in County Meath, 7 at Pebble Beach. Only the best get them there.
Third and Kilcock.
No one cares. Come on.
No, it's yeah, no, I haven't had. I've come close a lot of times. I actually came close a lot recently, even out in Orlando playing in that Irish Golf Day. Have to give a shout out actually to North and West Coast Links, to Dave and John and all the team there at North and West Coast Links. We were away at the golf show in Orlando a couple of weeks ago, and they organise an unbelievably good golf day with Tourism Ireland, Fáilte Ireland, and Tourism Northern Ireland. Yeah, they just get everyone in one day to play a course over there. We played Reunion, won a Jack Nicklaus course, and yeah, nearly had a hole in one. One the nearest to the pin. I think it was 10 inches stuck it to, so it had a look. That's the closest I've came in a long time. But yeah, just have to give the boys a shout out. Really well organised trip. But yeah, I'm still waiting for my hole in one. So yeah, not going to happen anytime soon.
Clock's ticking.
The clock is ticking. Yeah, exactly. Other things that stick out. Sepp Straka, I was a bit. I'm not going to say disappointed with, because he's had an unbelievable few weeks. Like his last 8 rounds on the PGA Tour, his last 7 rounds before this, like he was more than 50 under par. That's including the first 3 rounds at Pebble. So he was due to have an off, and he admitted to himself, not that he was in awe of what McIlroy was doing, but he rarely comes up against that when he's trying to chase down. And I think it was, if you read or listen to his press conference, it was kind of the first time that he'd been exposed to like someone at the absolute top of their game who is one of the best players in the world, and he's able to compare himself and go, I'm a little bit off the pace here, even though I'm in the final group, and this guy is just, he's hitting every shot that I'm hitting, but he's just executing it that little bit better, and these little margin and gains are all adding up. And but yeah, it's a good experience for Sepp Straka, and like there's no doubt he's going to be thereabouts for the Ryder Cup again.
Yeah, I think he'll be on it. I actually think you could take 11 of the 12 players again and see how you get on in Bethpage Black. I mentioned it before. I'd probably leave off Nikolai Hogarth at the moment, but the year is still young for Sepp. He was close to having back-to-back PGA Tour wins, but I mean, winning the Amex and competing against Rory McIlroy and Shane Lowry in the final group with Tom Kim and Justin Rose around you in a signature event, like it's different stuff. It's a different arena, different atmosphere. And yeah, I think he said there he just got not overawed by the whole thing, but maybe paying too much attention to what McIlroy was doing and not really kind of knuckling down and focus on his own game, because I never thought he was one for showing emotion, but you could see he was getting agitated throughout the round as well,
Yeah,
which I thought was a bit of a surprise. I wouldn't normally expect that from him, but no, like he's a classy player, in fairness to him, and he'll definitely be thereabouts. And I wouldn't rule him out of contending for maybe another Open Championship or something like that. Like he has the game. He's similar to Larry, A to B, keeps it simple. Maybe not the best putter in the world, or not the greatest around the greens, but
he
definitely
gets it out
a
there.
player to keep an eye on. He does, yeah. Big Al
Yeah.
Sepp. He's gone bald now. God love
Yeah,
him.
actually, look, it's happening to us all. It's happening to us all. Even Scotty Scheffler, when he's taking his hat off the other day, he's starting
Yeah,
like,
not
it's
good.
mad. It's mad. The Tiger takes off his hat. I know Tiger's near 50 now, so that's always going to happen. But yeah, no, it's yeah, we're on bald watch now, are we? This is a new segment you're starting, Ronan, is it?
Bald watch. Well, yeah. In fairness, like considering Scheffler's only a year older than I am, I'm definitely on bald watch.
um, Scheffler is someone. I know we had our predictions and our different things. He got stuck in there. He's not too far off, considering a man that has 0 reps in the last few months, and his first tournament out, like, and he's comfortably into the top 10, like making mistakes on the back nine and uncharacteristic putts that you would normally hold. And yeah, it's all setting up to like a mouth watering couple of months in the lead up to the Masters of Scotty finding his form. Can Rory maintain this form? Who else is going to be thereabouts? Like we really are set up for an unbelievable start to the 2025 season.
Yeah, when you think we've got the Genesis next week, we've got Bay Hill, we've got the players, all of that before we head to Augusta. I mean, like, it's funny. Like the signature events now look like they're a good thing
Yeah,
because of the
yeah,
hype
no, that's the thing.
because of the hype that this one just generated for whatever reason. And maybe because we're just so starved of top level golf. I'm really kind of looking for. I will actually start watching more golf. It sounds strange to say, given that what the industry that we work in, but this weekend was just the first time I really actually made a conscious effort. Right, I'm doing nothing else but sitting here on the couch for 5.5 hours and watching this from start to finish, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
No, that's what it's all about. Yeah, like I have to give a shout out like to shot of the day, shot of the week, shot of my year so far. Cam Davis on 18 from those tree routes like was unbelievable, that up and down, and the money that's worth to him in money and points and stuff like that. Even Lowry, like Lowry's put an 18, like that was worth 1.2 million.
Yeah,
That
never wanted a guy to finish second more in my life. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and Rory the same, like, and he was just, but he stood off it. He was on it. He was on it. But yeah, it was great to see him hold it, and it's worth so many points and Ryder Cup points and stuff like that. And for Luke Donald to be there watching it like that, like Shane's a shoe in for the Ryder Cup. It's no question about it. But to watch Cam Davis that up and down and what that meant and how like that was an unbelievable shot to execute.
yeah, it was outrageous. Like, in fairness, I mean, it's
And,
just like even if you do make good contact from the route, like where do you actually land the thing? And he
yeah,
managed to do it and get the control and everything. It was class. And then Rose following up a couple of minutes later with the little bumpy tree wood up to the green.
yeah,
Uh, I actually thought that like we talk about the final group. I thought that group was probably the best to watch, just in terms of like some of the disasters they all encountered, like on the sixth hole. The
with
Cam
Cam's
Davis,
ball
Cam's
hitting the
ball. No,
ball.
they two of them went into the hazard. Then obviously Cam hitting Justin Rose's ball on the green, and then what happened on 18. Like they actually were pretty good understudies for what was going on up ahead of them or behind them. Sorry,
Justin Rose is an absolute. Like, I love watching Justin Rose playing golf.
you hated
He's
him
so
2 weeks ago.
no, but I love watching him play golf. The way he attacks things, the way he goes about things. He's so easy to watch. He's so relatable in so many ways. Yeah, yeah, more Justin Rose. I want more Justin Rose.
You were not saying that a couple of weeks ago before the TGL. You're like,
Yeah, but
why is Rose
TGL is
playing?
different. TGL is different. That's different. Right, where do we go on to next on that? Yeah, I think that's it from the PGA Tour, really, isn't it? The event
I
else?
think
Any
so.
other comments to make?
Tom Kim's a bit slow, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah, he
Like
is.
it's like in football, you can't fall in love with a lone player, but can you fall in love with a slow player in golf? I don't know. Like he is box office when he just makes things happen, but God, he takes his time doing it.
Yeah, no, it's just something that, like, yeah, he's a hard one to digest at the best of times. But he's such a heart and a sleeve player, but then, yeah, the slow play just it doesn't do him any favors.
No, it nearly makes it harder as well because he is a young player. Like you don't think they should be like that. You
Yeah,
think they should be just gung ho and get up and go, but
no, all good. Right, that's it from the AT&T. On to the DP World Tour. Laurie Cantor had another win. Go Cleeks. In Bahrain. He's well over his live hangover at this stage. That's a second win now in inside 6 months on the European Tour. I was watching this and Pablo Larrazabal just made an absolute balls of it. I don't know if you've seen it on the 18th. Like he did everything right coming down the stretch, and Laurie Cantor and James Brown, whatever is it, James Brown? What's his name? Is it James Brown?
I don't know actually.
Mr. Brown
Mr. Brown.
and Cantor were on the driving range anyway, just staying warm. Like he had a 30-foot putt, 35-foot tops. Pablo Larrazabal had on the last and left it like 12 foot short and missed the putt, and then got up and had an absolute mare off the tee in the first playoff hole. So Brown put it into the bunker left. Laurie Cantor, in fairness to him, hit like if you were ever under pressure to hit two of your best shots of your career, he hit rescue off the like a little squeezy hybrid off the tee and then stuck 9 iron into 6 foot above the hole. Like, and it's a seriously tough hole. Lorazabal
Yeah,
went into the water right, took a drop, stuck it onto about 8 foot, which was an unbelievable shot in itself, hitting it out of rough, considering what he to come over, but missed the putt going down. But it was all inconsequential anyway. Laurie Cantor hold his birdie putt to claim the win. Gave a really nice interview afterwards as well about what it means. Like he's on the cusp of the top 50, he's trying to progress his career along. Just seems like a really nice guy, Laurie Cantor. Good
yeah,
family man, just really nice, unassuming guy going about his business.
it's interesting because we have the Eugenio Icaria story, and he was quite vocal about what it's like on Live. But Laurie Cantor's almost been in the same boat. Live didn't work out for him at all. Really, I know he made a few bob, but
Him
at
and
the
John
time,
Catlin are kind of blood subs for every team.
yeah. But like when he did leave the DP World Tour to go to Live at the time, he was showing up in the big events in Europe as well. I think he had a good run at Wentworth before he actually
Yeah,
left.
yeah.
And I was kind of half surprised that he did go. I wanted to see, what he could do because I thought he would get to this level where he's at now. And then when he came back, he was still struggling a little bit after his live excursions. Got his win, and like obviously played the team cup as well. So he is like on that Ryder Cup radar. Whether I think he's good
Big
enough,
time.
I'm still not 100% sure. But then you do think that there's a lot of lads missing off the European points list. There actually is potentially space for Laurie Cantor to qualify automatically as well. And yeah, he is like yeah, I actually find it quite easy to root for him.
So do I. Yeah, that's what I
I
was
don't
trying
know
to
what
get
it
at. Like,
is.
yeah, no, I'd be exactly the same. I like he just seems like a really nice guy. He's a proper player. Like he's a baller. And when the opportunity presented himself the other day, he just went through. Like there was no messing around. He was straight through the door and just kicked on. So no, it was really good. There's my first kicked on of the week. So yeah, other notable players in the field, and Harrington and Purcell. Not the greatest of weeks for Purcell again. Hasn't been the best of starts for him out in the desert, but yeah, I'm sure he will kick into gear soon. But it will be a tad disappointing for him not to have made cuts out there in these first few events.
Yeah, like even though he did make the cut last week, still finishing tight six, it isn't gonna butter your bread at the moment. But like, look, I suppose after missing three cuts in a row, just to make one, it kind of stops the bleeding in many ways. But you'll get plenty of opportunities throughout the season as well into Qatar this week. So hopefully he can maybe just sort out whatever struggles he's had so far, and kind of get the head down and get his season underway almost.
Yeah, and Harrington's just Harrington. Like he always shows flashes of brilliance and then just
Yeah,
it's a strange golf course though. Bahrain is a tough golf course.
yeah, he was going great guns in the in the first round, like nearly holding out for eagles and all sorts of stuff. Turned four under, then just had a bad back nine and never really got going after that. But look, he's. I often think when he starts well, this week's going to be the week he'll become the oldest tour winner. But look, still a decent week for him. 38. He'll go back on the Champions Tour and piss it up there and get a couple of wins and come back.
Come back full of beans again, try and win again. Right on the challenge tour, taking a dip down here again. Nolan again, like this guy Liam is on serious form.
Flying like fourth place, and even probably more impressive than finishing third last week, considering he had to back it up again, and he had to finish in the top five to get himself an invite into Cape Town this week. So he's done that, and this is what like golf at that level is about. It's getting the starts, getting that bit of momentum. He finished third last week, had the chance to back it up again. Now he has another chance to go again as well, which is huge. Like you play yourself into that kind of form, and you never know what can be achieved. Like he's still second in the order of merit rankings, the Road to Mallorca. They have a re-rank in July. So like if he keeps this going, more starts are going to come his way. And at this moment in time, like the DP World Tour card, like it is on. It is on from, not to put so much pressure on him, but like doors are going to start to open if he continues this kind of form.
It's momentum, isn't it? And like momentum is so huge in golf. But if a door opens in front of Liam Nolan in his current state, he's not afraid to win. He's a winner. Like he is a born and bred winner. And I know it won't be a big surprise to him, but it's probably a big surprise to a lot of people listening how good of a player he is and how his game stacks up to anything that's on the Challenge Tour or even the next level up to where Connor Purcell is on the DP World Tour. Like he is that good, and to get that sort of recognition straight out the gate of, two top five finishes in your first two professional starts on the Challenge Tour. We haven't had a player do this before, like in a long, long time from an Irish point of view, to actually hit the ground running in your first few professional starts so fast. So it's all about momentum. And if he gets himself in the mix in Cape Town at all, like he will do the business.
Yeah, he's not afraid to back off at all. And even just listen to him talk, it's like he put in Trojan work over the winter, but like it all seems to be sort of mental and staying in the moment, trusting the process, going through the routine and executing the shot that you want to hit. He seems to be in serious dialogue with his caddy over every shot as well. So he is managing his way around the golf course pretty impressively, given the heat that they're playing. Like it's near 40 degrees every day. And like his world ranking actually is pretty remarkable. He was outside the top 4,000. He was 4,557 2 weeks ago. Now he's 872. Like
Yeah,
he's
it's crazy, isn't it?
flying up the rankings so far. But it's in like he had to overcome foot blisters as well, which obviously wasn't easy. And again, like he gave it another good run. Like he's shot under par like in his last 8 rounds. I think he shot in the 60s as well in his last 8 rounds as well. It's just a shame he's running to Daniel Van Tonder over the last couple of weeks. But like it's actually impressive that he's done well in those two events because they are the bulkier of the Challenge Tour fields, because you are getting some of the Sunshine Tour lads and a lot of the decent South African players will come over and play that as well. Like I think Van Tonder has won on the DP World Tour in his career, played in major championships as well. So he's no slouch. But it's just been very impressive. And Liam's someone who has had to work for pretty much everything he's got. Like he wasn't getting on Irish panels as a teenager. Didn't get the amateur wins that he would have wanted. Didn't get the win on home soil that he always craved. Ground his way up to the Walker Cup was maybe an unexpected entry into that team in 2023, and he's just getting the rewards for all the work he puts in.
Yeah, no, he is. He's relentless as well. He's not going to back down, and that's it's a mark of the man just how resilient he is, and like he's a guy. And the Walker Cup and anything I've seen him in the last year in any of the elite amateur events, he just doesn't back down, and he has the game to back it up. And yeah, he doesn't seem phased by much, especially on the golf course. So yeah, he has the perfect temperament to do a lot of damage. Yeah, and I do. And going down there, like you're talking about Van Tonder and guys like that he's running, you're going into their backyard. Like you're going down there to these guys. You're playing on different grass, different types of greens, grain, all that. Like totally, it's not alien to what he's used as a professional, but alien to what he's grown up with and what he's to contend with here. And to go down there and do the damage you're doing, and yeah, it's seriously, seriously good. So yeah, I'm excited to see this week if he can keep just like he's on a radiator at the minute. He's hot. Just keep it going, keep her lit. Another good result this week, and you just don't know what's going to happen. Just keep knocking on the door, keep knocking on the door. He's played himself into an unbelievably good position at the start of the year to set him up for a life changing season. And I don't think he's going to back down. I think he's just going to keep going and going and going.
Yeah, hopefully. In fairness to him, like you think if you're 36 under for your first two starts, you might have got a win under your belt. It
Yeah,
just shows how good the scoring has been. But even like as well, like it's his first season as a pro, so there's so much to get used to as well. I'm sure like there's a real sort of adjustment culturally to be made when you're going away as a professional. So to play as well as that on the back of all the adjustments he has to make as well to his lifestyle, I'd assume, it just makes it even more impressive. Like there's no sense that he's finding his feet out there. He's just gone straight in and
it's
tore it
just
up.
golf. Yeah, I don't know. You mentioned Caddy there. You might know this, but is he? Who does he have in the bag? Is he gone with locals, or do you have someone out with him? Or
He'd someone out with him. He didn't have he usually had Kenny on him for
Kenny
the
Fahy,
amateur.
yeah, from the
Yeah,
GUI Academy, Golf Ireland
he's
Academy. Sorry.
he's not been out with him though. The 2 weeks he's had just one of his mates there,
Okay.
Sean No Hilly. So seems to be working so far.
No, that's good. That's good to see. Right, a quick roundup of a few other things that happened. So Leona got off to a nice start. Leona Maguire, a nice top 10 to start off the LPGA in Lake Nona in their Tournament of Champions. Good to see, and like it's nice. I know it's a limited field event. It's kind of a bit of a pro-am type status as well on this, isn't it? It's not your average run of the mill event, but she's in this event on merit and gets a nice top 10. She's a fair bit off the lead, but it's still a nice start to the season, and momentum will be with her as well.
Yeah, like she was in contention halfway as well, which was good. Third round didn't go her way, which has kind of been the way it's been for the last 12 months or so, not really putting the 4 rounds together. But she responded really well in the final round, and it's her first top 10 since last July worldwide. So it was definitely overdue, and it's definitely most welcome. And it just, pushed you in the right direction. I know they'll have a bit of a break this time of year. That the season's kind of scattered up until maybe March and April, but it's just good to get off on the right foot after an underwhelming year last year. And like it's funny, Alim Kim and Nelly had a great battle over the top of the leaderboard. Whereas if you were watching maybe a run of the mill PJ Tour event, I might have switched over to the LPGA golf, but such as
Yeah,
what was going on, just the way it clashed. But no, like a good week and good to see her. Good to see her back in form.
no, totally agree. Um, just rounding up on things as well. TGL, we said we'd give it a quick mention. Tiger and Rory saved it last week. Different dynamic, different product once you have personalities involved. Kind of everything we've said all along. Interesting to see tonight. My ball frogs are back out again. Boston Common against LA Golf Club. Be interesting to see if they can keep that sort of dynamic going tonight with no Tiger. With Rory there fresh off the win, it'll be interesting. So yeah, I'm debating. I probably will stay up. Well, I've done it every week up to this. Stayed up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning watching it. I probably will again tonight just because it's Boston Common. Just have a look. But this could be the last week for me.
Yeah, so it's Rory McIlroy, Keegan Bradley, Adam Scott. Like, what do you say? Do you say Boston Common or unchanged? Is that how we're supposed to say it? And then it's Tommy Fleetwood, Colin Morikawa, and Justin Rose for LAGC. So, uh, yeah, I might tune in, might not. It's on at the later time tonight, so I think so.
Yeah,
I don't fancy staying up till 2 o'clock to wait for it to happen. I don't think, but might watch it tomorrow.
might watch in the morning.
It's fallen down the pecking order. The TGL. It's into a roundup now. Usually, it's been the headline.
Yeah, we said that. Like, no one's tuning in to listen to TGL stuff. And we'll get into that now in a second, actually, in the heroes and villains on my side anyway. But yeah, it's just it is what it is, it's an interesting product, but it needs dynamic individuals and personalities to do it. We've done it to death. We'll move on into. Is there anything else in roundup you want to bring up? Anything else happening in the world of golf that you want to get off your chest?
Uh, we had a bit of amateur action. Kate Lanigan made the cut in the Portuguese ladies amateur over the weekend. So I think she was the only one of three players to make the cut there. And then the student series is back in action this week. So the big minute love-in is in full swing once again.
Out in Spain, is it? Or
Out in Spain, yeah. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of success. They had a training camp there last week, so that everybody there. Donald Scott was out there doing some drills with them, so they're as ever well prepped. Barry has them in good shape.
they have some setup in Minute. It's something that we have to do more on, I suppose. Like, just to show like the difference in, like, if we go back 10, 15 years, there was nothing. Like, there was literally a choice of going to college in the States. Like, if you go back to when Paul Dunn and Gavin Moynihan and all them, they just didn't have these choices of Minute being an absolute powerhouse of collegiate golf this side of the water. What Barry Fenley and all them have done, and like Paddy Harrington with the scholarship and all that, it's so good, isn't it, to give these young up and coming players a proper opportunity at elite golf while staying at home.
Yeah, it's perfect. And like for somebody like Kate Lanigan, who I spoke about it last year too, it's absolutely perfect for her. It's just the right balance between staying at home and having your golf and having your studies as well. Because look, they'd all would have thought about going to America, but like going abroad to the US isn't for everybody.
Yeah,
And like this is like the student series has just grown and grown and grown each year, and no doubt it will again this time round. Like the course they get to play as well, that they have their big Order of Merit finale over in St Andrews as well. Like it's unbelievable. They play great golf courses. The scoring is always very low. Standard is excellent. The only thing probably is that you don't really get the World Amateur Golf ranking points for it. They're always skewed towards the collegiate events in the US. But I mean, you see then during the summer when they play their own, events on their own championship schedules, some of the student series players are always up there contending and competing to win. So it's definitely an avenue worth going to.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. Right, are we ready for heroes and villains?
I am.
You are. Oh,
I
but
am.
normally this is very unlike you,
I
Ronan. Now you're
know.
prepared for heroes and
I
villains.
am. I
The
am.
one time I skipped it recently, you're like, no, I have notes. I have notes. Right, go on, hero.
Are you fond of a dad joke?
Yeah, being a dad of four myself, yeah, I'm
All
quite
right.
particular. I'm told by my own 11, nearly 12-year-old, I'm someone he does not relate to in any way. So yeah, go on.
David Howell had an absolute belter on I think it was maybe Friday or Saturday. What do you call a man with a seagull on his head?
What?
Cliff.
Jesus Christ.
I was in bits.
So you're giving him hero status for a dad joke.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Because Sky was on the American feed. So do you know when they have to have those bloody fillers when
Yeah,
CBS or whatever goes to the break? I thought it was really good.
Oh, stop. I don't know. Right. On a more serious note, yeah, my hero this week, I'm going to give it to Charlie Hoffman.
I
We have
knew
a
you were
piece on
going
the
to do that.
website. Yeah, because I mentioned it earlier on. He's bang on with a lot of points that he's making. Like, I know it is. Like, there's a little bit of a bang of The Simpsons of old man roars a cloud um, about it. But he's making some good points on slow play and guys saying they want to play less and yet they find places in their schedule for TGL and stuff like that. Little bit of sour grapes, probably because he's looking at Kevin Kistner playing and he's not, and bits like that. But no, Charlie Hoffman hit a lot of good points in the letter/email that he sent to his fellow tour pros, and we seem to be in that with Justin Thomas doing his letter a couple of weeks ago around TGL and around general things on the tour as well. They all seem to be in letter writing, email sending mode over the last couple of weeks. But yeah, Charlie Hoffman gets the nod for me on hero just for speaking advice and putting it out there in a fairly articulate way and not being afraid to go at some of the top boys on the tour. Like,
I wonder who'll write one next week. They never actually write these letters saying, I hope this letter finds you well.
yeah.
It's very hostile.
Very hostile, yeah. It's a hostile environment, professional golf, We've a lot going on. Speaking of hostile environments, yeah, it's first week in Riyadh. We've a bit of night golf going on this week now with Tom McKibben across Legion 13. He's getting his show on the road this week with Live Golf Riyadh.
Yeah, I actually probably will watch this just to see how he gets on.
100% I will. I had a brief chat the other day.
I know you will anyway.
Yeah, night golf is really different. Like, he's had to tweak around with his equipment and stuff, like his putter. The putter that he was using, he couldn't necessarily see it in the dark with the reflection and stuff like that. So he had to change his putter leading into this week. All sorts of little variables and stuff like that. It was just the way the putter lined up, and he doesn't use much alignment. He uses for anyone that's into their equipment, he uses it's a Japan only putter that he uses from Odyssey from Callaway. But yeah, it's interesting just to see him doing stuff like that. There's all sorts of weird reports coming out about that as well, and his sign up fee. I'm not sure if you've seen that coming across from the UK and where his sign on fee for Live, and apparently Callaway getting involved in Legion 13 and they were behind the sign on fee. All sorts of crap like that. I've no idea of all the background of that, but yeah, there's all sorts of weird reports coming out on that.
So it's a
Did you
dodgy
pick up on any
move.
of them?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I saw the Callaway stuff. Yeah, they're going to look well in their Grayson gear.
They will look well. We announced that. We broke that last week now. It was only announced the other day. I think I was speaking about a week ahead of... shouldn't have announced that last week. It was just when the Majestics were out in their gear with Castor. I said, yeah, throwing a bit of grace and stuff there as well. No, but they will. It'll be good. No, I'll watch this. Right, we're getting sidetracked here. Villains. Who's your villain?
It's got to be Tom Kim. I'm sorry, like I love him, but like he lit up TGL the week before. But oh my god, like when he's on a proper golf course, just hurry up. Like, yeah, he doesn't do himself any favors either. Like the shot into the 6th hole was just because he was taking so much time. I think he was like 48 seconds standing behind the ball, and then when he gets over the ball, he's into them around 20-25 seconds. Like it's just too long.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. My villain is a bit, I don't know. I'm getting old, and I'm like old man roaring at cloud now. So my villain is Malbon golf.
Oh,
I
Jason
just,
Day.
yeah, wearing a tracksuit like a sweatsuit on the thing. I don't know. Is it just me getting old? I don't understand Malbon as a brand for professional golfers. As in, there's a dress code there, and like I'm all for, younger, dynamic, the more different brand. Like we've had Bold Golf come out in Ireland as well,
Mm.
recently, bringing out bags for like $1,000 and stuff like that. It's mad, it's different, and there's a market there for it. But I don't know what we want professional golfers to look and fit. Like there is a sort of a style template around not wearing short. Like what is the difference in the boys can't wear shorts if it's 30 degrees, but they can
Yeah.
wear feckin' tracksuits.
Yeah, when you put it like that, actually, that is a good point. I know they wore shorts on the Challenge Tour the last couple of weeks because of the weather,
Yeah, when
but
it reaches a certain
like
degrees, they're allowed.
actually, Collie Campbell deserves a good shout out here. Actually, he was on Twitter there the other day saying, "Looks like Jason Day's getting ready to go to the gym with what
But
he's
he
wearing."
is. Like the tracksuit was like, a drawstring tracksuit, just full cotton jobs. I just don't get Malbon. I get them as a, like, I get them as, you know, uh, to me, it's just like, I can't get my head around it. I just can't, as in professional golfers wearing that sort of attire on a golf course in competition. I get the traditional old lines being blurred from a recreational golf point of view of, yeah, there's lots of young guys in their teens 20s that want to wear this sort of stuff, and yeah, I get it for that, and there is a place in the market for that, but I just don't see it in professional golf the way we are. If there's so many other rules and regulations like the one we highlight about shorts, you can't wear shorts but you can wear a tracksuit, just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, I'm calling out Malbon. More power to Jason Day, and we're probably feeding right into
Oh
the
yeah, we're helping
Malbon
them here.
marketing. Yeah, like this is free marketing. We're after giving them a 2-minute ad, and people are going to Malbon. Who are Malbon if you haven't heard of them before? Looking at stuff and like yeah. So we're feeding into their marketing mix there of exactly what they want. But yeah, I don't get it. Old man, I'm getting old. We're on bald watch still, are we? I'm
You're
getting
on
old.
Bald Watch. Yeah.
We're on bald watch. I think that's it. I think that's a wrap for the week. What are you anything else to get off your chest? Or are you good?
No, no, I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm good form this week. Good form.
Big big week ahead, yeah. So we've, like we're saying, yeah, we've lots going on. So bit of live, bit of TGL tonight. We're into the Waste Management Phoenix Open as well. That's always mental. Lads going roll you, just getting absolutely steamboats and yeah, going on and falling off stands and the like. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see that. It's always good once a year to see that. But no, cheers for tuning in. From myself and Ronan. Thanks for, as always, for hitting play on the podcast. Do subscribe if you like it. You'll get notified every week. I did mention it the last couple of weeks as well. Irish Golfer Event Series is now live on the website. So visit irishgolfer.ie/events. Some of the events are sold out already, and yeah, there's big uptake on them. So do check it out if you're looking for somewhere decent to play and good competition this year with some seriously good prizes. Cheers for tuning in, and we'll chat to you again next week. Bye.